Have you ever heard a song that you thought was really shit? A song that makes you wonder how did that become a hit? Sometimes you need to hear a discussion about that. Irregular podcast format. Well, that's a little bit of songs that we gotta attack. 1,001 steaming piles of crap. I'm telling you the truth, you know that we don't lie. Here's 1,001 songs that make you wanna die. Oh!
And now here's your hosts, Dan, Bevo, Mad Dog, and Gypsy.
This is 1,001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, the podcast where we discuss songs so bad they make you want to buy an old Sizzler restaurant and use it as a space to breed rats.
Do you know why that's funny? Is because the only Sizzler kind of left in the Greater Sydney area turned into a childcare centre.
Wait, really? Where? Which one?
You know the one as you go past
Like
St. George? Yeah.
Is that a daycare now? Is
It
it?
is now, yeah.
You think they still have the sneeze guards like on the food buffet things?
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, absolutely.
got rid of
It's
it.
just the restaurant, but they put kids in it now.
Yeah.
Today we are doing the song Brandenburg Gate by Lou Reed and Metallica.
It made me dream of Nosferatu, trapped on the Isle of Dr. Moreau. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
Now, we have Southern here, as always.
Yep. There you go.
Except for that time that he died for a long period of time, but then he came back. That's all right.
Yeah.
Bevo's here, trusty beverage, as always.
Not dead yet.
Not dead yet. And we are joined once again by comedian and host of the new amazing fucking podcast, 100% Hits Volume Pod, Mr. Josh Earl.
Thanks for having me back, boys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming back.
Can I get in on this Sizzler talk?
Please.
I'm in Melbourne. There's an old Sizzler near me, which the other end of the spectrum, not childcare centre, funeral home.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
The opposite of a childcare centre.
It really is. It's
I
a
wonder if
circle of life.
If they cremate the bodies there, they could have just kept the Sizzler sign up.
Yeah.
It's like Sizzler, but for bodies now.
You don't want to. Everyone who went into a Sizzler before would come out with their belt open. You don't want that in a funeral parlour. That's not good.
Not at all. I hope they still serve the garlic bread.
The Parmesan bread was the best hit.
That was the reason you went to Sizzler. I feel like we missed a trick on buying up all of those old Sizzler real estate. It was solid buildings.
Mm.
Yeah.
I got in so much shit from my mum and dad as a kid at a Sizzler for we managed to convince them to let us sit at a separate table. I was probably 8, maybe 8. And because it's all you can eat, just go around and get shit. We decided, it was only a matter of time before we started making a concoction of a drink in the middle of the table. We're just getting everything from the all you can eat thing. But then in an exciting thing I found, I can't even remember what it was. I think maybe a handful of noodles or something, and I'm running back to the table. I've got the best thing for it, and as I went to go shove them in, I've knocked everything off the table, and our concoction smashed all over the ground, and we were found out. Very traumatizing Sizzler experience.
My thing with Sizzler was it was only dads were allowed to order off the menu, I found.
Yes!
No one else. My mum never ordered anything. She just had the salad bar with us kids. That was it.
That's right.
Only dads had to get a steak.
That is blowing my mind. I literally remember the exact same thing. It's like a steak. I'm getting a steak. It's like you're eating whatever's in that troughs over there.
Anne Marie.
Off to the food trough, kids.
Meal.
Yeah.
Well, did the people walk around with the cheese bread on platters for you guys, where you could just kind of, can I get one of those cheese breads, or did you guys have to order it?
I think it just came once you sat down. Got one per person. I don't think it was just walking around with it. Otherwise, I would have had more and more.
Because I would reposition myself in the Sizzler. They'd bring it to our table. I'd find myself
taking other tables' garlic bread.
yeah, because fuck them. Because I wanted more of it.
The guy comes out with a tray full and you just slide it onto your plate and they just turn around.
Leave the tray.
Now, we are missing one host, Zav. He died. But, I tell you what, if you're going to fucking die, how's this? He was the last resident in his apartment building, and they were about to demolish the whole thing. So he decapitated himself with a chainsaw to highlight the injustice of being forced to move out.
Yeah, it was quite a passionate cause, he felt at the time. Yeah. He's like, I'll chop off my head. Yeah, that'll show them.
Last
I
guy
assume.
in there.
Yeah.
That'll show everyone in here.
Yeah.
It's just like the developers just standing behind the police tape, just being like, well, it's all worked out fine and dandy, hasn't it?
When the landlord just paints over his dead body.
Just a white roller straight over the body. Yeah, so Zav's dead. Anyway. Now,
The cops are making jokes out of it. They're like, there's a dead body in here. Oh, really? Who is it? I think it might be the head of the body corporate.
that's Josh, how was the comedy festival?
It was great this year. It was one of those, because last year was excellent, because last year we all thought that COVID was behind us. And this year, I mean, I did my show. The show got good reviews, had good houses, but I didn't go and see anything else because COVID had not died down. And I've still avoided it, which is a miracle. I don't know how.
Hey, running the gauntlet.
I know. I'm doing comedy like 4 nights a week in clubs, sharing microphones with dirty comics, and I've still avoided getting it. So apart from that, like it was a good run, and the show got some good reviews, and that's all I really cared about.
The show was like reviewed very highly.
Yeah, which is nice.
Oh, I bet better than the other way.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that. That sucks.
Yeah. Not as good. And the new podcast.
Yes.
Tell us about the new podcast.
So it's looking back at those 100% hits compilation CDs, tapes that you used to get, produced by Warner Brothers Music or Warner Music, and so just going through each album 2 episodes at a time. So side A, side B. Yep. Side A is 1 episode, side B is the next episode. Started in 91. We're up to end of 92. We've had 12 episodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
we're going all up
era.
to 2017. So it's going to be interesting.
2017 is the last time they did it?
Oh, they were doing best ofs then, like best of the year. That wasn't really went up to volume 33, and then they just kind of put them out whenever. So we'll get to 66 episodes, and then we'll see how we're going. And this is what I want. I wanted this out there every platform I can. So the last song on the last album is Kylie Minogue's "Better the Devil You Know."
Okay,
she's living in Melbourne now. Not to give away to the listeners, we're recording this as the Neighbours finale is actually on air.
Yes.
Oh, it's happening right now, isn't it?
If she's doing that, surely she'll do my podcast. Like that's.
Oh yeah.
I want her on as the final guest.
You've got a bit of
That'd be
time
great.
to tee that up. Surely, come on. You must know. You must have enough contacts that can pull some strings and get you in touch with Kylie.
Well, Nate Fowler reckons he can get me Danny. And I'm like, okay.
I was
heard
about to
that.
say,
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a start because she knows her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's familiar.
Go
to
for
the,
Danny early so you can stepping stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's a Minogue.
the lesser
I know.
Minogue.
Yeah.
But as I said to Nate, I don't think I can get Danny on to say, hey, come and talk about your sister, your more successful sister.
Did Danny ever get a song on 100% hits?
No. There's no Danny Minogue.
Rough.
There is an album coming up that has 2 Spice Girls songs on the one album.
I'm sure you could get one of them.
Yeah, I could probably get Mel B, honestly. She's in the country. She's doing The Masked Singer.
Yes. Hey, she's bloody looking at people dressed up as giant prawns and shit.
Yeah.
Like, surely she'll talk to you.
Ask Dave Hughes to hook you up.
Yeah.
I'll get Hughesy.
Get
Yeah.
Hughes onto it. Say, pop your shirt off and tell him to get on the podcast.
I really should. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Got any room on that podcast for some 1001 boys?
Oh, yeah. What ages are we talking here, guys?
Well,
How old are you?
I'm 36.
I'm 34.
So,
I'll be 35 soon.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll wait till we get to like the year 97, 98.
Yeah, I'm going to say
perfect.
mid to late 90s.
Yeah,
would be-
sure.
Yeah, just keep us in mind because we're there.
Well,
I'm
that's what
loving
I've
it.
realised. I had Guy Montgomery on very early on talking about songs from 91, and he was like, 4 years old, and he knew none of them. It was fun. He's very good at podcasting, so it was fun. But
So it's an awesome podcast though. Like it's a great.
Thanks, man.
It's a great.
I have a very different rule to your podcast, where I'm only allowed to dislike one song per episode. So I do 9 songs each episode.
So hard.
So if we were on, could we dislike one each?
The guests can dislike as many as they want.
Okay.
But for me personally, I just don't want it to be a negative thing of me just shitting on every single song, which I could easily do on some of them.
Hey, we do.
Yeah. You choose one song though.
Turn that into a real thing.
Yeah, we're kind of wagering on being able to shit on about 1,001 songs. That's the number we're going for.
Yeah. Well, I've had the Teen Queens on three episodes so far. I'm only 12 into it, and I don't know how much more I can take of listening to the Teen Queens.
Teen Queens. Jesus.
Don't know if you even know who the Teen Queens were.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's put together by the makers of E Street.
Yeah, it's manufactured early 90s pop music.
Oh, yeah. It's
the best type. The best type. All right. Now, Brandenburg Gate. When I was talking to you on Instagram the other day, and it's like, well, what do we do? And you basically just like, oh fuck it, just something off Lulu.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have picked Brandenburg Gate myself.
Yeah, I've avoided this album. It's an infamous album from Lou Reed and Metallica, and I know about it. I think everyone knows about it, but I had managed to go, just like you and COVID, Josh, I've managed to go to this day without ever hearing a note of Lulu. And then I
wonder what's worse, this album or having COVID?
I've had COVID, this album.
Yeah, okay. Great.
Yeah.
It's funny. So I was showing a mate this album today, and I showed him kind of half of Brandenburg Gate, and then I kind of scrolled through the album bit by bit, and it sounded like one song, just continue it. And I told, and he looked like he'd smelled a fart or something, and I said to him, "This album goes for 1.5 hours." It was like,
it's like when something's it's been out for a while now and it's got that much bad press, that many people just consider it. This is maybe one of the worst things ever put out into the universe as far as music goes. And you go, it won't be that bad. I better listen to it. And you go, you know what? Like people would just, it's like when the Blair Witch Project came out, they went, you know what? It's not that scary. You watch it now and it scares the shit out of you. But, no, I think everyone nailed it on the head. It might be the worst thing I've ever heard.
You got to also think this is like Metallica had many, many years before released Saint Anger. Yeah, it was like that was kind of one of the worst things they'd done.
My favorite Metallica album. Yeah,
and then Death Magnetic, which was kind of a return to form. So you're like, okay, let's see what they do next. It's a knife edge.
They're back, baby.
And then it's Lulu.
The writer Chuck Klosterman reviewed this, and his review was like the Red Hot Chili Peppers playing the 12 worst Primus songs, which is
spot on. You couldn't put it better than that.
So as a Metallica fan, it was a rough 10 years.
Well, this is what I wasn't a Metallica fan. I was a Lou Reed fan early, I was around when the Strokes, when I was 18 when the Strokes came out, and that was a big thing, and everyone was like, they sound like the Velvet Underground, so, I go back into the Velvet Underground, like some of the early stuff, do not like Lou Reed solo stuff apart from Perfect Day and Walk on the Wild Side. The rest of it, I'm like Satellite Island Love is such a boring song. It's like, for a guy who's meant to be so cool and edgy, it's like, oh, this is absolute dad music. This is so bad. Yeah. But I had a good friend who was a massive Metallica fan, still is a massive Metallica fan, and knowing that I like Lou Reed, he's like, hey, there's an album we can both enjoy. And my biggest regret is not being there when he heard the opening track, just to see his stupid little face.
So if you're listening, friend of Josh Earl, who's a Metallica fan, you've got a stupid little face.
Yeah.
All right, we've got lyrics to get into here, so let's get into it. The intro performed by Lou Reed, it says, I would cut my legs and tits off when I think of Boris Karloff and Kinski. In the dark of the moon, it made me dream of Nosferatu. Trapped on the Isle of Dr. Moreau. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Mm-hmm.
So
I would
Where's
cut
you
my
go?
legs and tits off.
Yeah,
I
straight
think
up.
that's a great opening line. That is a great opening line.
Yeah.
Not just the opening line of the song, the opening line of the album.
The album.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
cut my legs and tits off.
And you instantly wondering the logic or the actual like how would that take place? Like
What
you
would
would
you do
have to put something in place for that to happen. You couldn't just do it. There's no way. You'd pass out from the pain. You'd be dead. Like if you went with your legs first, you'd bleed out before you even got to your tits.
You reckon?
Surely. I reckon.
You'd have to do like 3 months of yoga training beforehand to get in a position where you can do it in one foul sweep, like just
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I
You're
imagine
taking
you'd have
yoga
to.
real serious, aren't you? It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm planning to cut my legs and tits off in a few months. So, I've got to be committed.
And then I imagine you'd have to like bandage up the wound to stop it bleeding out. So he's like, oh, onto the tits. Here I go. Like, it's not going to be easy to do that. It's obviously going to be very painful, but the practical side is going to take some work, some thought.
Yeah. It's like a bloody scene from Seven or something. It's out of control. He dreams about vampires and being trapped on an island of half human, half animals. But he thinks it's lovely.
See, the way you're saying it though, it sounds cool. It sounds cool the way Lou Reed talks it.
It's the boredom of Lou Reed
Yeah.
instantly from this of like, wait, did they like kidnap Lou Reed and make him do this? Like he's got no interest in being here whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or this is what heroin sounds like.
Oh, that is a great review.
Yeah.
This is what heroin sounds like.
Yeah.
Not the song Heroin by Lou Reed.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's also in the review.
Yeah. Like I'd put Requiem for a Dream or something on and just put this over the top and be like,
Yeah.
That's
So are you going to go into how they got together in the first place?
We will get
Okay.
there. We will get there.
I'll hold off.
Yes. So we've got James Hetfield decides to get involved. He screams the following lines. Small town girl, small town girl, small town girl, small town girl.
All right.
One thing they didn't say in that recording studio was, do you want me to go again? That was...
No. There was and no one obviously steering the ship in the control booth for this one. Like I think they just by remote hit record from the live room and gone because he's not exactly in pitch. Would you say?
Well, it sounds like he didn't have any monitors. He couldn't hear it.
Oh no!
And so he's on stage and he goes, you can just see the band go, all right, I think it's now my turn to sing, but I just can't hear anything.
It feels like that.
It does feel like that. The whole
Josh,
thing
I got a
does.
question
It's so
for you.
Stressful.
Yep.
Do you think this line is talking about, like it says small town girl, is this a girl who inhabits a small town or is it a town girl who is small?
Oh, maybe
Small
she's
town
cut her
girl.
legs and tits off.
Yeah.
She's,
Now she's a small town girl.
she's a town girl. She's one of the smaller ones.
Previously a large city girl.
Yeah.
She was a large town girl.
Yeah.
She was a large town girl.
This is fucking madness though, the fact that just comes in over the top of that shit.
Yeah.
The whole thing's madness, really.
Yeah. I'll just say it now, but I had this on, like just listening to it in the living room, and my wife goes, "Are you listening to two songs at the same time?"
Yes, I am.
I'm like, yes, spot on. I think that's exactly what I'm doing. I don't think they know that they're recording together.
That's another
Yeah.
great review. So,
It's almost like, okay, I know they don't record in order of, like, this probably wasn't the first time they recorded together, but it does sound like it is in terms of everyone's too polite to say, what do you think of this? Oh, no, it's great. No one's saying no to anything. It's just like, hey, I'll do this over it. Okay, you do that.
You reckon
definitely
Lou Reed was the one just calling the shots in this, and like they're all a bit too like big Lou Reed fans to be like,
Yep.
you reckon?
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I'm going to chop the tits off, and then the vampire other people, and then you got to scream, "Small town girl," 4 times. And it's like, wait, when?
All right.
When? Oh, when I'm saying that, you'll be screaming "Small town girl" over it. Like, yep, what? Yep, okay. Yes,
That's
sir, Mr. Lou Reed.
Imagine if it was like you got the chance to work with Kanye, like he's your hero, right? And he comes, he's like,
if he wanted me
"Chibs,"
to do this, I would do it.
he's like, I got a song, man. I got a song. I'm going to call it Horsey Rides. And it's all about just riding around on a horsey. And I'm just going to say horsey ride. And you got to, like, I want you to come in with, like, horsey ride as well, but really loud. And you're like, fuck, this is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. But you would not be, like, you wouldn't be able to say to Kanye West, like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Like,
See, the way I see it,
yeah,
it's
you're
like,
a genius.
it's like Lou Reed's gone, okay, Metallica, I'm going to be singing about, like, famous 50s and 60s, like, monster movies, Boris Karloff, Nosferatu, and Hetfield goes, so it's about a small town girl. Lou Reed's gone, yeah,
James, that's what it is. The first verse, here we go. We're not even to the first verse. It says, I was thinking Peter Law when things got pretty gory as I crossed to the Brandenburg gate. Small town girl, I was feeling snappy. Perhaps I'd been napping, and I had just ate. Small town girl, a following heart can tear you apart on a midnight to 8 shift. Small town girl, a graveyard romance can only give one chance as the tombstones weave and breathe. Small town girl.
Small town girl.
I just want to sing Small Town Girl with Billy Joel in mind. I do like that he was feeling snappy at some point in there. That's a good thing to point out.
I do like the internal rhyming of snapping and napping. Snappy and
napping.
And the Peter Law line or whatever it is? There's a few little rhymes there, but they're not like the way you said it was rhyming. The way Lou Reed says it is not rhyming.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what makes him impressive, is that he takes something that's hard, like easy to do, and makes it hard.
Dubby Energy has declared war on Big Energy, who probably support ISIS. If you want an energy drink with no maltodextrin, no artificial colours, and no kickbacks that fund insurrections in the Middle East, then look no further. So head on over to dubby.gg and use the promo code 1001songs, that's the number 1001, for 10% off price of purchase. And remember, kids, if it's not Dubby, it's ISIS.
طويلة من الجهاد والصبر.
So they say jazz is great because it's the notes you don't play. So this is the
rhymes
the beats that Lou Reed doesn't hit. Like that's what makes it so great.
Yeah, Peter Law, he rhymes with things that got pretty gory.
He's like, I was thinking Peter Law when things got pretty gory as I crossed the
Brandenburg. James and Lou Reed then joined forces like the Power Rangers and both scream Small Town Girl over and over again.
No.
So I'm not going to repeat that. We get it. Verse 2. James is getting involved here as well with Lou. It says, feeling happy when my heart got beating on a Sunday afternoon. Small Town Girl. I dreamt of breezes going through the trees and stars were still illumined.
Hang on. My lyrics here say, I dreamt of breezes going through the treeses.
Yeah, me too.
Have you got that?
That's so good.
I don't, but I'm sure that's what he said. But that's not a word. So,
it is if you're Gollum.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're precious. It's written by a fantasy creature. Small Town Girl, I have 3 hearts that I keep apart, trying to relate Small Town Girl, To Normal Feelings, and The Nightmare Reelings, and some absinthe drunk so late.
3 hearts, eh? Like a Diplodocus.
Wait, does an octopus? How many? Doesn't an octopus have multiple hearts?
That's legs. They got multiple legs.
Legs. Damn it! I knew it was something.
You're thinking of tentacles.
Yeah. That's what it is. Legs.
Yeah.
The octopus legs.
Yeah.
Octopus.
8 hearts, was it?
They got 8 or something.
No, you're right, actually. I just Googled it. An
How
octopus.
many they got?
3 hearts have slightly different roles. 1 heart circulates blood around the body, while the other 2 pump it past the gills to pick up oxygen.
I could have sworn it was tentacles, and it was 8.
They got too many of everything. Those fuckers. Greedy.
Yeah. Something wrong there.
Yeah. How many stomachs does a cow have?
3, I think.
4,
All right.
isn't it?
Is it 4?
I think it's 4.
Come on, Bevo. Animal facts.
I'm coming. Camels have 3 stomachs.
Whoa.
3 stomachs, 2 humps.
My lovely lady lumps.
Yeah.
How many lumps does Fergie have?
I don't know what she's going to do with all that breast.
If you'd
inside
like
that
to know,
shirt.
check out our previous episode on
Yeah,
My Humps.
You can go back and listen to My Humps. Again, I think he's been drinking the absinthe since the start of this song. I don't think it took him to the end of the second verse to start drinking. He's fucking seeing fairies for sure. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like,
It sounds like his diary
can you
at this
pick up
point.
a story here.
Yeah, this is the worst kind of poetry of just, hey, we'll just cut up a bunch of phrases, chuck them on the floor and see how they land and go, yeah, we'll read it that way.
That's it. Yeah.
Every uni party I went to, there was the fridge. They had the magnetic poetry on the fridge and some idiot just staring at it for ages trying to come up with a poem.
Ascertain meaning.
Jesus Christ. That does sound like a uni party.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've spoken about uni band comps before on this podcast a few times, Josh. Did you experience uni band comps?
Yeah, my old uni band went in a uni band comp. When I say band, it was just 2 of us on guitar, so it wasn't really a band.
More like a Tenacious D thing.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did it first.
But I remember the notes being, get a bass player. I'm like,
Oh, right. Thanks.
all right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What, we would have won? So at Wollongong Uni Band Comp, it's the shittest band comp of all time. And I've told this story before, but I'll say it one more time. That I saw it one guy who, one of the band members was just a dude that sat on the drum riser with his old like Nokia 3330 trying to get that SMS sound to come through the speakers, like the beep, 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 beep. So he just walked around sending texts on stage to try and get that sound to come through, and he was a band member. Yeah, they made it through.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. They got. I think they placed.
So Wollongong, was every single person saying, yeah, Tumbleweed played here? Like, is that what it was?
It still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Hockey Dad now. You know, it's like,
Okay.
yeah. But
Yeah, because mine was in Launceston. We had no bands coming out of Launceston.
No, none out of Launceston.
Oh, well, there were bands, but none that you'd know.
It's a big metal scene in Tasmania, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Heaps of big metal bands come out of there.
The first band I ever saw were called Intense Hammer Rage. I don't know if you know about them. They got banned censorship because they had like songs about necrophilia and
Fantastic.
And they were the first band I ever saw at an event at the Burnie Pool called Pool Jam. And
That makes sense.
It's a good name.
Going there and seeing every single band do Tool covers. That was it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I don't want to see
sucks.
Tool do it.
No, I don't want to see Tool cover their own songs.
I have seen Tool do it.
You explained Tool to me once. I think you were ripping into someone that liked Tool, Chibs, and you were like, it's like they're intent on making music that you can't ever find the beat or bob your head to or enjoy.
Is there
So
any
true.
joy out of this music? Yes.
You try and bang your head to Tool and you can never find the beat.
Andy Falkus of the band McCluskey and Future Left described them as a bunch of hippies who dress like the Matrix.
Yes, that is it. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, I don't know. I could go on the Tool thing. We'll have to do a Tool song at one point.
Yeah.
I'll unleash on
yes,
you.
please.
Okay, verse 3. The cook got drunk and all the whores, they shrunk.
Well,
onto
there's your
the-
answer.
Small town girl.
Small town girl, yeah.
Small town girl. Onto the size of dessert plate, small town girl. But me, I am happy because I got my little nappy and some opium to set me straight. Small town girl. I'm just a small town girl who wants to give it a whirl. While my looks still hold me straight, small town girl, straight up to illusion and fantasy's fusion of reality mixed with drink, small town girl.
It doesn't make
Right.
any sense, right? Like,
You
I'm
know
really
what
trying
makes
to-
sense here? Lou Reed is old as shit because he has mentioned needing a nap twice so far
Yeah.
in this song. Yeah.
He's wearing some Depends.
Yeah. I need my nappy.
yeah.
Lou Reed's tired.
Whack my nappy
I
on and
imagine
give me
Lou
some
Reed
heroin.
always refers to himself in the third person as well. I don't
Yeah.
know this for a fact, but I'm saying that is a fact.
Mm.
So he would be Lou Reed is tired. Lou Reed needs a nap.
Nappy.
Lou Reed needs whores. And so on and so on.
Yeah, all the whores
Opium
they
and
shrunk.
Yeah. You said there'd be opium and whores.
Do you reckon that they haven't shrunk? They've just walked away from him, and he doesn't realise that they're just in the distance now. He starts
Perception is
doing his
just-
bad beat poetry, like, "All right, I've had enough of this. I don't care how much you're going to pay me. I'm off."
They're getting
Like-
smaller.
Every time people say goodbye to me and leave to go home, they always shrink.
Through that tiny door across the room.
And then, what's crazier than that, they get in their car. The car drives down the street, and that shrinks.
Everything's disappearing.
And then when they come back over to my house, they get bigger as they get closer. It's like it's this weird effect.
It's like the mushrooms never wore off for Lou. It's we get the refrain at the end here. It's basically the same thing. It says, "I'm just a small town girl who's going to give life a whirl, looking at the Brandenburg gate. Small town girl, I'm just a small town girl giving life a whirl, looking at the small town girl Brandenburg gate. I'm just a small town girl, small town girl, small town girl. Yeah, small town girl. I'm just a small town girl, small town girl." Now, if you had to guess the name of this song, would you go with Brandenburg Gate
No,
or something else?
I would go with
Like-
Shrunken Whores.
Shrunken Horse.
I was going to go cut my tits off.
Yeah. Hot Tits by Lou Reed and Metallica.
Maybe like a
Yeah,
band of all hope.
Severed
He who
tits
went
and
to
tiny prostitutes.
Yeah. It's just not good, is it?
No.
It's not
No,
good.
it's not even okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Like-
like it's actively bad.
We've done so many songs where you go, that's stupid. That lyric's stupid. But
Yeah.
this isn't stupid. This is nonsensical.
It's nonsensical gibberish.
Yes.
Because we're
Yeah.
not going to talk about the rest of the album, really. There's a song later where James Hetfield is basically shouting the same thing as Small Town Girl, but instead he's singing "I Am the Table."
Ah!
Yeah, I can't remember which song on this album
It's
it is.
the next song is The View,
Yeah,
Is it?
which is a great song if you think about they've written it about the Whoopi Goldberg show. Just
if you ever see,
head
you ever
fills the
seen-
table and there's
He
Whoopi
is the
Goldberg
table.
and Joy
Yeah.
Behar are behind him.
Pull your chair up to me, Whoopi.
there's heaps of memes about James Hetfield being the table. So if you ever see those, that's why.
Is it sort of like a Rednecks sort of thing where all their songs sound the same? Like, everybody knows Poppin' Old Oak by Rednecks,
Yeah.
but they're not
Yeah.
as familiar with
The
Cotton
View
Eye
is the
Joe.
Poppin' Old Oak of Lulu.
Right, yeah.
of Brandenburg Gate. But yeah, there's another song on here. I think it might be the very next song after this one where Lou Reed repeats, "Worship someone who actively despises you," which I feel
Yes.
like is him breaking the fourth wall and talking about people who actually enjoy this kind of music.
The whole thing's a prank.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
Do you think it's a prank on the listener or is it a prank on Metallica?
I think
might have been
first
both.
one and then the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entire, like, he might have laughed. Like, he might have left every session and gone back. It's like, idiots.
Yeah, this is someone
Yeah.
who's learned that his fans will literally eat up
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Bad.
I've said it before, but yeah, apparently. I don't know many Lou Reed fans, so I don't know. What's
I
a
must
Lou
say,
Reed
I
fan?
like
What's
the
what's
first
the
Velvet
prototype?
Underground album, and his Transformer album is
Yeah.
like it's teetering, but it's on the good end of shit.
Yeah, Transform was the one that was his comeback to form as well. It was like
And David Bowie had a hand in it
Yeah.
too, and yeah,
That's like that's the famous one. Like that's the one
Yeah.
when people think Lou Reed, they think Transformer. Like you know the album cover, you know that, but like I don't think I've ever listened to it.
Walk on the Wild Side, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's all the lyrics. Lyrics are done. Thank Christ.
This is hot.
This podcast is sponsored by Ghetto Bird Studio. Do you write music? Do you want people to hear it? Do you want your music to sound less shit than it does right now? If you answered yes to these questions, then you should record your music at Ghetto Bird Studio. We record all types of music: rap, rock, hip-hop, jazz fusion, metal, electro, even country. We can't promise that your music won't be shit, but we can promise to make it sound less shit. Here's a before and after. Grab my body and spank my ass. Contact us now at ghettobirdstudio.com.au.
Tell these haters. Non-stop music.
This is the album was released on the 31st of October 2011.
Ooh, Halloween.
Spooky. Don't scare 'em.
Yeah.
I think if you really want to be spooky or like dark or whatever, release your dark album, but do it on like Christmas Day or something like that. Like no one's going to expect it. Like don't go with Halloween. Like kids get dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat lollies and run
It's not
around
scary.
and have fun. Not really. No. I mean, there were all those movies with people got killed on Halloween.
Police Academy.
Yeah. The guy with the sound effects.
Yeah.
So the album is the final full-length studio recording that Lou Reed was involved in before his death in October 2013. Do you think he was
no.
stoked about that?
Nah. I mean, he probably was, yeah.
Been like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad Lulu was what
Yeah.
everyone will remember
My
me
legacy.
by.
I'm glad I got Lulu out.
Oh, I'm glad. Like, wasn't the one? Didn't Bowie release one? Like, was it just
Black
after he
Star.
died? And it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people who like Bowie loved it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good description of it.
That,
Yeah.
that's more than people that like Lou Reed liked this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was being very nice there. You could pick up on that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a nice guy, Josh. Too nice.
I remember about a week before Bowie died, a friend of mine was telling me, hey, he goes, you know what? I've tried. I just can't get into Bowie. I think he's overrated. And then he died a week later. I'm like, you still think that? And he goes, oh, yeah, I don't really want to say it publicly, though. Like, yeah,
I'll keep it quiet for a
I
year.
did that with Leonard Cohen when he died.
Yeah.
So I can't stand Leonard Cohen music. I can admit that his lyrics are good and like deep, but very, very bad singer. And,
Yeah.
All right, Jesus Christ, we're not doing the bloody.
And yeah, no, I
Leonard
posted
Cohen.
something. I think I posted on Facebook and I said like,
Of course you did.
I don't like Leonard Cohen's music, but his lyrics were good, and I got flamed. People really love
The
Leonard
king
Cohen.
of Facebook, really?
Yeah.
You normally
Yeah,
love for you on Facebook.
you're very
Devo.
Yeah, you're a
Remember that
controversial
time that
person.
you gave Jessica Malboy a bunch of shit about being a drug dealer?
Yeah,
Oh, that was on YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Posted today about how it's been 12 years since I had a kebab and didn't like it and never had another
saw
one.
that.
Yeah, that one's going off right now.
Yeah, it's hot
Yeah,
topic.
there's Kyle Sandilands, and then there's you. You're a very close second.
Shock. I'm the shock jock of Facebook.
So it was recorded after Reed had played with Metallica at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 25th anniversary concert, and that's what led to the collaboration. So they thought that jam went so well that they should go and record an album together.
But even that got panned when it happened. People were saying this
No
is a
one
really
thought it
bad
was good
version.
except them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they
like
played Sweet
the
Jane. Yeah.
yeah. It's again the whole thing just stinks of no one. Like both of these groups, Lou Reed, Metallica, and their camps, just being surrounded by yes men for so long because it's just such a money spinner for everyone involved that no one's going like, you don't want to, you know.
I reckon Robert Trujillo would have fully been like on the edge of his seat, just going like, this cannot happen. This is fucking terrible.
Also, keep in mind, this is the second time he's played on a studio recording with Metallica.
Yeah, so he's like, and he's really an outsider. He's not that engrossed in being in Metallica that he's forgotten what the world is and forgotten what good music is, whatever.
Well, by this point, he'd been in Suicidal Tendencies longer than he'd been in Metallica. So it's like,
he would have known this is shit, I reckon, 100%.
Yeah, it's very Emperor's New Clothes. It just needed one person to say, hey, I can see that this is balls.
You reckon Jason, the old bass player, is listening to this and just going, oh, fucking yes.
Conceptually, the album is based on 2 Lulu plays by the German playwright Frank Wedekind. So they're concept albums. I don't know if you got that by the lyrics, but obviously is a concept telling a narrative. Would you go if you went to see a play and you saw this like being sung? You'd want your money back. Sure.
Yeah. I reckon you'd scratch your chin for a good 3 minutes going, if I don't understand this, people are going to think I'm dumb. So I better give it more time than it really deserves.
A theatre can do that. Like it's maybe
does that. Every single museum I've ever been to, I look at the paintings more than I want to, just in case someone's looking at me.
Yeah. It's the entire thing's like the entire economy of that world is run on embarrassment. Yeah. Just pretend it's good. The recording was problematic at times, with Lars Ulrich admitting that at one point Lou Reed challenged him to a street fight.
Oh my god!
Now, Southern, you're from Marilla. What is a street fight in comparison to a regular fight?
It comes down to what street you're on. Firstly,
So are there knives involved normally?
You might come face to face with a yoga guy that can stretch his arms out and legs and.
Might be a guy
for
in a cape,
instance,
a Russian wrestler. Yeah,
two of the
green guy
streets,
that's electric.
a Brazilian electric monster.
in Warilla, just for instance, the street that's the street away from mine, like one street away, a dude got shot. Right, so I don't think there was a knife involved in that. That's a street fight that he got shot in. But if I was getting a street fight out the front of my house, there is a lady that lives across the road from me that illegally deals vapes. And I know this because friends of mine came over and they were like,
illegally bought vapes.
Well, for starters, there's always cars coming and going constantly, right? And I had friends over and they had an Uber waiting and they went across the road to get in the Uber. And some fucking kid walked up to my mates and tried to give him money for vapes because they were outside of her house. And they're like, we don't live here. And they're like, oh, where do I go to buy all the illegal vapes? And they're like, I don't know, up there, I guess.
Is this the illegal vape store?
Yeah. So she would probably pull one of them. I don't know. It depends where you are, whether there's a knife or not.
Well, Lou Reed, who's an old man at this point, challenges Lars to a street fight. Do you think this was at some point, I don't know, maybe mid this song when he realised that this drummer is completely incapable of keeping time?
Lou Reed, not only just an old man who looks like an old woman as well.
Yeah.
We should put that like, he has a real womanly face at this stage of his career.
Yeah, it wasn't kind to him at all. Time was hard on Lou Reed.
Like when you say you can't keep time, like that's definitely a thing. But toward the end of the song, which I've only very recently listened to, he plays pretty straight the whole song, but toward the back end, it's the same 3 chords over and over. It's the same beat. Then toward the back end, he tries to mix it up a bit, tries to throw some drum rolls in there, some like random shit. And I think that's probably the point that this started to happen. Like Lou Reed's like,
but even when he's playing straight, it's never like on. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like.
I mean, Mo Tucker from the Velvet Underground also wasn't the most like.
Okay,
she was great at drumming because she had her own style.
Yeah,
but it was very basic.
Maybe Lou is just that's what he's all about. You know.
Yeah,
it's those. You know, don't sit on the beat. You know, just feel.
That's what they all expect.
Yeah. Like they might expect this to be good. It's
everyone else has got the good market.
It actually reminds me of when I first like started recording bands and like just didn't really even know what a click track was. So you just like go in there and play, and you go like, it's not very good. Like this doesn't sound that good. Like why doesn't it sound good? And you realise, wait, no one's in time.
Yeah,
but this is a Metallica album. Like,
it reminds me of that. It's that thing where, do you ever see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you'll see someone and they're putting like matchsticks on a piece of paper and it zooms out and it looks like Jimi Hendrix or something like that.
Yeah.
You ever see any of those things? It's like
Trickery.
bullshit good. I reckon this is the equivalent of that, where if you ask Metallica then to draw a tree after they've done the matchstick Hendrix, they'll go, yeah, and they'll draw the shittiest looking tree you've ever seen. Because they've only got one skill, which is finely crafted metal music.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Like had time to plan.
They're not like a jam band. Like this is a jam kind of vibe, I reckon. But the problem with it is you've got Kirk Hammett that can probably jam. He could probably go and fucking take his skill to anything. But as I said, it's the same 3 notes the whole time. So I think he does 1 or 2 sort of little runs, and then it seems like he just runs out of ideas straight away.
I've done everything. I've done everything you could possibly do with these 3 chords.
Yeah, and
it's an interesting thing for us as musicians. We know what it's like to do a jam where you get sort of bored of it 3 minutes in, so you start doing silly stuff. And
that's nearly every jam I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. And
every jam seems like a good idea until you start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bowie, he considered Lulu a masterpiece and thought it was Reed's best work of his career.
No,
that's his
Bowie
quote.
was
That's a quote from David Bowie.
Bowie was given back at that point. He's like, I've got a lot in my life. I'm going to give a few other people, so I'm going to help him out a little bit.
Masterpiece.
No,
I was reading where you got that that Bowie quote. I think it's on the Wikipedia thing here. I'm reading some really interesting response to criticisms here. Were you going to read any of those out?
No, go for it.
Okay. Frontman James Hetfield expressed understanding of fear for people who are typing from their mum's basement that they still live in.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And then the other one, Ulrich, the drummer, Lars. I played the record for my kids yesterday in the car, and it sounded as relevant and more intense than ever. It sounded incredibly potent, very alive and impulsive. Imagine the kids in the back.
The kids in the back are like, Dad, this sounds incredibly relevant and impulsive, and it's great. That's their words.
More intense than ever.
You want to change it?
Yeah,
it's great.
They're just telling him what he wants to hear. Like he's like, do you think it sounds relevant? They're like, yeah, very relevant, Dad.
Yeah.
What about explosive? Yes, very explosive.
That as well.
Potent. They've learnt all the buzzwords. He's like, cool, that's what I was going for. So you want to listen to Cocomelon now?
It's only got an hour and 25 minutes left, so enjoy it.
Do you guys like that one about the table?
Yeah, wait till you hear Junior Dad at the end.
Junior Dad goes for 19 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Junior Dad does sound the most like a normal song, though.
It goes for 19 minutes.
19, yeah, there's 8 minutes of just droning strings at the end of it, but it is like, for a bit, you go, that's, if you played that in the house, no one would go, what is this shit?
Right. They wouldn't think you were like,
I'm bored, but like, yeah.
Are you performing an exorcism? No. That's Lulu by Metallica and Lou Reed. They recorded it live. It's all live in the studio.
No.
Obviously. Yeah. I think we caught on to that pretty early. Again, no one at any level, label level, production level, it's produced by Metallica and Lou Reed.
Yeah,
So
it's problematic right there.
Yeah, that's problematic. And no one at any point went, you know what, fellas? I think this one's just for you guys.
Yeah, it was. I remember there being like ads and stuff taken out for it, seeing the new album Lulu, and it's like it really does. And I feel bad for Metallica fans who are the completists who are like, I've got to get every single Metallica album there is, and then they've got
vinyl.
this. Yeah, spending extra money on a absolute glorified vanity project.
Yes,
and I reckon I would say this would be more thought of highly if they never released it, but word was kicking about that, Lou Reed and Metallica went into the studio and made an album.
You can't.
It would have been the smartest thing they could possibly have done.
Lou and Lars almost got in a fist fight at one stage. You got to hear it.
Yeah, totally. And then
they could have done that Wu-Tang Clan thing where they
sold it to one person.
Yeah, they just auctioned it off, the masters and everything, to one person, and it's like one person owns Lulu. That's it.
Apparently, according to Kevin Smith, Prince has a vault, and it's like shit. There's videos, there's songs, there's song ideas that's in that vault that apparently no one's ever going to hear, right? Yeah. And I think there's a thing with any muso where like you probably write 10 bad songs before you get a good one, and that's fine. Like everyone does it, but the trick is, as you just said, Josh, don't release it. Like it's yours. Just keep it, and eventually if someone comes across it, it probably would have been received differently. Like, oh, well, I could tell why they didn't release it, but it's pretty fucking cool to have some Lou Reed and Metallica. Like,
they needed to wait for all of Metallica to die off.
Yeah, everyone's dead. It's like, wow.
Can I tell you my Prince story? This is my Prince story. Hopefully I didn't tell it last time if he came up. So
I don't even care if you did. I'm in for any Prince story.
So he was doing a gig at the Prince of Wales here in Melbourne, and it was just going to be a private secret gig before he did his big show. And there was a restaurant next to the Prince of Wales, which my friend Jimmy worked at, and Prince, his entourage, booked out the entire restaurant before the gig, and they're like, yep, cool, we'll cancel every single person who had booked, and we'll have put on everything. Prince is coming in. So all the staff are like, I want to work. I can't wait. This is going to be amazing. They're waiting. No one comes. And then at 10 o'clock, Prince and two bodyguards walk in. Prince sits down and goes, I'll have a piece of bread and room temperature water. Sits there, eats one slice of bread, drinks his water, goes, thank you, and walks off. And that's it. They've all been waiting there.
Jesus Christ.
And he ate a slice of bread and had a glass of water, and then went into the gig and played. And
then
it was
he
also,
rocked it.
They played and he didn't sing at all. It was just for the band to jam. And he didn't do any singing.
What a life that guy led.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I'll order a single piece of bread. Watch this.
So fucking cool.
He tells the bodyguards. Check this shit.
Order me some McDonald's afterwards.
There's no video for this, right, Bevo?
No, so I looked it up, and the top video is just a still image with the song, and comments are turned off, unfortunately, which I would have appreciated.
What a shame.
Yeah.
We know how Metallica really like the thoughts of their fans. So, I get that. What about a set list? Do we have a set list?
I do have a set list. So
this?
Metallica did one concert where they did some songs from this album. It was an anniversary concert where they did stuff from every album they've ever done. They actually got Lou Reed up to sing Iced Honey, The View, and White Light, White Heat. So they never did this song with him, but Lou Reed did it on his own.
Did he?
Many, many times.
Okay.
On his tour.
Who did the small town girl bit, I wonder, in his live show?
I wish I knew, Chibs. I wish I knew. So this was his final gig ever, actually. Okay. Royal Festival Hall, London, England, August 10th, 2012. 13 songs.
Right.
And one of those 13 songs, the last song, is the encore.
Okay, and he plays this.
And he plays this, yeah. Where would you play Brandenburg Gate?
I'm going to go like fourth.
Going seventh.
Fourth.
I'm opening the show with it. People are probably still getting their cars parked and stuff.
Yeah,
Get it out there early.
Only
Good
playing
call.
13 songs, and I'm not opening the gates until at least 3 in.
He does open with it.
Oh, wow.
Josh is
One
like,
of
"I
4
was there."
songs. One of 4 songs from the album in the set.
Jesus, his last ever show, and he played 4 songs from this album on it.
Yeah.
In a 13
Imagine being
song
the
set.
sound guy, though, and this is his opening song, just going, I can't tell if I'm doing a good job or not yet.
It's the easiest gig that sound guy ever had. It's like, what? You can have the Lou Reed tour, or you can do the new Justin Timberlake. He's like, Lou Reed.
Yeah.
Lou Reed one, thanks. Like having a holiday. It's like going
Yeah.
on holidays.
It's like they
Yeah.
pay the same. Okay, cool. I'll take the one where I
Yeah.
don't have to do anything.
Eternal Fate is up to 10.
Yeah. Okay, a little bit of legacy before we wrap it up. So, upon its release, it did receive mixed reviews and an extremely negative response from many fans and several prominent critics. In the US, the album debuted at number 36 on the Billboard 200, and in the first week had 13,000 copies sold. This made it Reed's highest charting release since Sally Can't Dance, reached number 10 in 1974. Lulu debuted in the top 10 of the charts in 8 countries. Despite this, sales fell exceptionally 3 years after its release. The album had sold under 33,000 copies in the US.
Wow.
So 13,000 its first week. 3 years later, it had sold under 33,000.
Yeah.
How many of those 13,000 do you think went straight into secondhand CD stores?
Around 94%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
assumption too.
Bargain bin.
It's like you said, the completionist Metallica fan and Lou Reed
That's
fan,
it.
I guess.
That's
But even
it,
that's a small number for that.
Oh,
That's
It's a
crazy.
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
number. That's a small number. Luckily, they didn't need it because I'm going to go into the net worths right now. We've got Rob Trujillo, who is, as of 2022, worth $30 million. Not bad for the dude who is basically the new member of Metallica. How long's he been in Metallica now? long
I
time.
think,
At least 10
I think
years
he's
or
the
something.
longest serving bass player at this point.
Yeah. But he is the new guy. 30 mil, not bad. Hammett, 200 mil. Woo! Lars is worth $350 million. And Hetfield is worth $300 million. He must be cut that Lars has that extra 50 on him. Now, Lou Reed's net worth at the time of his death, what would you put that at, Bevo?
I'm going to say $15 million.
Okay. Southern?
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but that Walk on the Wild Side song, I have heard that.
Yeah.
So I think it's got 300
Big drug
million
problem.
plays. Okay, I'll take that into consideration. I'm going to just go 20 mil.
Okay. What do you reckon, Josh?
Well, I'm just thinking if he got a kickback from all the Velvet Underground T-shirts that are on display.
I doubt it. They were all
yeah, probably,
counterfeit,
yeah.
surely.
Yeah. I don't know, because he wouldn't have got much for the Velvet Underground. I'm going to say 10 mil.
Bevo's got it on the head. $15 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So less than the bass player of Metallica.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy. Okay, guys. Now I'm very interested for this bit. Let's rate this shit.
Motherfuckers, this is it. Now it's time to rate this shit.
Now, we do know the scale goes to 10. I've got a feeling that some people might have broken the glass ceiling on that one. But let's see what we're going to do. 10 is you hate this song so much you would rather die than ever listen to it ever again. A 1 being that this will turn up in your Spotify Wrapped.
So 10, you've cut your legs off, you've cut your
legs
tits
and
off,
your tits are well and truly gone.
and then you've stabbed
You wish
yourself
you
in
cut your
your
ears
eyes.
off.
Yeah. You've cut your eyes out and then slit your throat. That's 10.
I cut my hands off. Now I can't cut anything else off.
Yeah.
Okay, Bevo, mate.
Yeah.
What do you give Brandenburg Gate by Lou Reed and Metallica?
This disappoints me as a Metallica fan. It disappoints me as a music fan. And it disappoints me as a Lou Reed fan. I'll say fan.
I'll say fan.
Because I do. I really like Transformers. One of my favorite albums.
Okay, I like Transformers as well. Megan Fox was
Robots
great.
in the Scott. No, that movie was shit. That
I love
disappointed me as a
the noise they
Transformers
make. It's like heaps cool, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
So obviously it's going to be more than a 10. I'm going to give it a 10 for all those three things that have disappointed me. So it's a 30 out of 10. Thank you very much.
What's going on? Is that the highest rating ever?
It's definitely the highest I've ever given, but it might be
that might be the highest ever. That might be the highest ever. Southern, what do you give it, mate?
It's
fresh for you as well. You only just listened to it.
Yeah, I full disclosure, I told the boys this before, but I like to save songs that I haven't heard. I listened to them right before the pod, so it's super fresh, and I've got the lyrics and stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna check this song out. Going on in half an hour, so Metallica and Lou Bega, let's go, and search that up.
Boom,
and
yeah,
there was no Metallica Lou Bega.
Better.
And I told Naomi. Naomi goes, "What song you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's some fucking Metallica Lou Bega shit." And she's like, "Cool." I'm like, "I know. That would be like." I was like, "I know," and then I couldn't find it.
Of puppets or something like that.
I cut my legs and tits off.
A little bit of no legs in my life.
Trumpet.
A little bit of Karl off and Kinski.
A little bit of cutting my tits off. Well, I'll get to it. It's definitely a 10. It's a fucking 10. But I'm going to give it an extra 5 for the Mambo number 5 collaboration that I didn't hear.
The lack.
So it's a 15.
That it was lacking. 15.
Yes,
So we've got a
15 out of
15. Josh, you've brought already, without your rating yet, you've brought the highest rated song we've ever had. This is going to be like Jonestown, like here. This is insane.
Well, here's the see, music for me is meant to elicit a response. It's like the worst thing could be is boring. Okay,
yes.
This is not boring. When I hear this,
I think
it
boring
does make me laugh a lot. It's like it is one of the funniest songs I've ever heard in my life, but also I can't get through the full 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
No.
So I'm going to give it 8.
Okay. all right.
Dragging the average.
2 off just because it makes me laugh.
Okay. No, I feel. Okay,
I get that.
I get you.
I like that.
Yeah, it definitely made me laugh. I couldn't fucking believe it. I literally, it's not often you get to hear a song that you're like, I can't believe I'm listening to this.
Yeah, like 2 artists from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. Put them together.
It's
nuts and gum together at last.
Yeah. I like to just. I don't second guess my score. I always write it down really early and I just leave it. That's it. Like, so a few days ago when I was doing the research and stuff for this, I went, that's my score. That's it. I don't change it. And I wrote down 16 out of 10.
I like that.
Instantly. It never even occurred to me to make it go under 10.
Yep.
You can look at every other
16.
song we've done and find value in them that does not exist in this piece of shit.
I feel like my life is worse now.
Mine is.
Put this into it.
Mine was great before this.
I'm so pleased I've given this gift to people.
Yeah.
I mean, we did decide to do this podcast, and it was only a matter of time before this did happen. I was hoping we'd get closer to the 1,001 number, but I think we're around the over 300 now.
This is a high benchmark, yeah.
It's good, and it's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't want I'm a good person. I live a good life, but I've listened to this song now. I mean, yeah, arguably, but I've listened to this song and I don't even want to do this, but there's a good chance I'm going to go and murder my family now. That's just on the cards for me.
Yeah. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah,
it's a roll of the dice.
I should specify that my score is based on the entire album too, but more than just the single song. But each one of them individually.
When did that become part of the rules?
Tracking motherfucker.
No, each one of them
constantly.
individually
Exactly.
gets a 30.
Oh,
but
dig up, stupid. All right. Okay. All right.
if we did every song on the album, I'd give them 30 points each. So
They get 30.
got it.
Okay, yeah. It's a horribly reviewed album. Well, I'm glad we don't ever have to do the whole album. Josh, thank you so much again for coming back and doing the podcast. And everybody should be listening to 100% Hits Volume Pod. It's such a fucking just good bloody time to listen to.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a fun one to do. So thanks for letting me come on here and help promote it. And thanks for having me back.
It's
It's
good.
always
And-
like hanging
and
out with you boys.
100%. When you get into that mid-90s, we're in.
Expect an Instagram message.
We're in.
love to do Drops of Jupiter. That's my jam. Is that on there? Surely.
You won't be able to
2001.
get through with a dry eye, Bevo.
Yeah.
Loves that song.
Fucking hate that song.
No train bashing. All right. Thank you so much, fellas. Thank you, Josh. Everybody else, go and get fucked.
Yeah, go and get fucked. You're all fucked. Fucking don't listen to us. Listen to Josh Earl's podcast instead. It's way better. Don't listen to ours. Fuck off.
You've got this
I'm
far.
sure they've already skipped over to it.
Not too late.
Hi everyone, it's Dan here from 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die. I'm here today to let you know that our podcast is now available on Patreon. That's right, for as little as $2 a month, you can now support this podcast rather than listen to it for free, effectively stealing the food out of the mouths of our starving children. There's one of them now. So why not join us on Patreon? You get bonus stuff each month, and you can even be a guest on the podcast if you want. Now, doesn't that sound better than making our poor children starve? Oh, kids are great, aren't they? Anyway, on with today's episode.